There is something strange about the night. During the day, you seem fine. You work, you answer messages, you keep moving. But at night, when the room gets quiet, an old conversation suddenly comes back. A sentence they said, a reply you should have given, a moment that made you feel awkward, weak, or small. And before you know it, your mind is replaying the whole thing again. Many people think they overthink at night because night makes them sad. But that's not really what's happening. Night doesn't create the anxiety. It simply removes the noise around it. There is no work to answer, no people to react to, no outside world demanding your attention. And when that silence appears, the mind brings back what still feels unfinished. Not because it wants to torture you, but because, to the brain, an unresolved conversation still feels like a small threat. Something that wasn't handled well. Something that still needs to be understood. Something that might need to be fixed. So it replays, not to hurt you, but to see if there is still a way to make you safer inside that memory. If you look closely, you'll notice something important. What the mind replays is usually not the conversation itself. It's the feeling that was left behind. The feeling of being judged. The feeling of sounding foolish. The feeling of not protecting yourself. The feeling of being seen in a way you didn't want to be seen. That's why some conversations stay with you for years, even when the words themselves were small. Because they touched something that was already wounded. A fear of rejection. A fear of humiliation, a fear of not being enough. And from that moment on, the conversation stops being just a conversation. It becomes evidence. Evidence the mind keeps so it can say, "Look, you got hurt here. Don't let it happen again." This is where it becomes exhausting. The mind doesn't just remember, it edits, it rewrites the scene again and again. What if I had said this? What if I had stayed calmer? What if I had left sooner? What if I had defended myself better? It keeps testing new versions of the same moment, as if the right sentence could finally set you free. But it can't. You cannot win a conversation that already ended. You cannot go back and become wiser, sharper, or stronger inside a memory. And the more the mind tries to repair what is already over, the more trapped it becomes inside its own loop. It thinks it is solving the problem, but in reality, it is keeping the problem alive. Maybe the thing that keeps you awake is not the conversation itself. Maybe it's the part of you that still cannot accept who you were in that moment. The version of you that froze, the version that stayed silent, the version that didn't know what to say. You are not just replaying their words. You are replaying a version of yourself that you still feel ashamed of. That is why the way out is not finding the perfect answer. It is not thinking harder. It is not replaying the scene one more time. It is ending the trial. Ending the habit of dragging your past self into court every night and asking them to explain why they weren't stronger, calmer, smarter. Because the truth is simple. At that moment, you responded with the awareness, fear, and strength you had. Maybe it wasn't graceful. Maybe it wasn't powerful. Maybe it wasn't enough for the person you are now. But it was real, and it is over. That conversation has ended. The other person may have forgotten it. Life has already moved on. The only reason it still lives is because your mind keeps pressing play. Some conversations do not need a better answer. They only need one honest sentence. Yes, I was not my best in that moment. Yes, I was hurt. Yes, I didn't protect myself the way I wish I had. And still, I will not punish myself for it again. Peace does not come when you finally find the perfect line for an old conversation. It comes when you stop trying to rescue a version of yourself that no longer needs to be rewritten.